And we're live. Hey, everybody. Welcome into the Flippin Hippos YouTube channel. I'm Star the Flippin Hippo, and today is July 28th. It is a Tuesday, and we are about a month and a half away from Q4. So that's kind of what we're going to talk about tonight. Q4 starts on October 1st, and maybe 2 months. About 2 months away, because this Saturday is the 1st of August. So we got 2 months to get prepared. You can never be too early in getting prepared for Q4. So we'll talk about that tonight. But let me say hi to some folks in the chat first. Bill and David are here, guys. My very good friends. Gnome and the Frog there at the Blue Wrench. Say hi to them. Tammy's here. Hello, girlfriend. Welcome in. Stark Raven Wild. Shower us with your wisdom. I'm not sure if it's wisdom or guesswork. That just has worked for us in past years. Tasha, welcome in. Good to see you here. Beth picking Georgia Peaches. Welcome in. Good to see you here as well. Good to see everyone here. You guys are awesome. So what I'm going to share with you tonight is things that Keith and I actually do. And it has always worked for us. I feel like it's kind of dark in here tonight, but I'm not going to get up and turn on another light. We'll deal with it. So like I've told you guys before, I never teach you anything or show you methods or ways of doing things or give you advice or anything that I don't do myself or that Keith doesn't do. There are times when I don't do what I should do. But I always preface that with telling you guys, hey, I don't do this. This is what you should be doing. Do as I say, not as I do. I fully fess up when I'm being a slacker and not doing what I should. But all of the tips, the tricks, the methods, all of those things that I share with you guys, that I teach you guys, are all tried and true things that Keith and I actually do and have helped make us a success. So then I share those methods with you, and hopefully if you're listening and you take it to heart and you implement these things, you too will be successful as a reseller. Shelly's here. Welcome in. Scott, welcome. Haven't seen either of those two in a while on a live show, so that's good to see them. And Penny Day. All right, so we're going to talk about getting ready for Q4. We have 2 months, like I said. And we actually like to start getting ready for Q4 at the beginning of Q3. So that's June 1st, right? Yeah. So, right around June 1st, right around when Q3 starts, typically you start to see the summer slowdown. Sometimes you start to see it towards the end of May. 2020 has been definitely different and definitely weird. It's been a monster of its own making. 2020 has been just not a typical year, but typically June is usually when you start to see the summer slowdown, and it just is. So what can you do with your extra time during the summer slowdown that will help you in Q4? Oh, there's a lot. I wrote it all down. See? There is a whole ton of bunch. That's my new favorite word, by the way. Ton of bunch. There's a whole ton of bunch of stuff y'all can be doing when you have extra time on your hands in Q3 during summer slowdown that will help you be more prepared, more organized, and more ready for success and money making when Q4 finally hits. Typically, when the summer slowdown hits, you're going to have less to ship, and that's where your extra time is going to come from. It should not be from not listing as much. Definitely no. But typically, if you're not selling as much, you're not spending as much time packaging your items and shipping. You're not spending as much time probably on questions and answering messages or back and forth fees with offers, because all of that will slow down. So your sales slow down, your offers slow down, less folks are messaging you. And so you have a little bit of extra time on your hands. And so I'm going to tell you how to fill that time up with things that you will thank me for when Q4 hits. I did see a bunch of folks come in a little late, so let me say hi to them, and then we'll get right in to the meat of my program. And I don't know how to use a mouse. There we go. See, I don't know how to use a mouse. I don't know how to scroll. There goes swimmerization. Welcome in. Ready, steady, sells. Penny Day says, I love how you're always positive. Thank you so much. I try to be. But I'm human too. I have days where I want to throw my computer out the window and quit. We all feel it sometimes. Yeah, Robert's post in the Facebook group is super duper funny. I laughed. Oh yeah, by the way, hi Robert. Robert's here. Yay. Zombie Bargain Hunter there at the Blue Wrench. Just to give you guys a little bit of a teaser, I'm not going to say too much, but Robert and I are conspiring behind the scenes, and we're coming up with a little special something for you guys as far as content for both of our YouTube channels. So keep your eyes peeled for that. Probably want to be in the Facebook group so that you know when it happens. Flippin' Hippos Reseller Pod. And my throat's already dry. Beth says, I just passed my year and last Q4 was a flop. It wasn't that great, but I would say 2018, when they did was it 2018 or 20, whatever year they did the item specific updates and screwed everything up, that screwed up the whole Q4. That might have been last year. Wow, do my time and years and days and months run together. Mary's here. Welcome in. I need a bunch of motivation, Donna. That's funny. All right. Thank you for throwing that up there, David and Bill. That's the link to our Facebook group. It's free to join. It is the best group on all of Facebook for resellers. And I'm not just saying it because it's my group. I'm saying it because of the members. They make it the best group. So that was 2019. Holy crap. 2020 has just messed with my head so much. I almost feel like 2020 isn't really happening. It's not really real. So I'm still in 2019 maybe. And I think last year was when they did the item specific. So yeah, 2019 was a bust, but we all know why. I feel like I'm on the 12th month of 2019. So what can you do? Hey, Deb, Wakaman, and Liz from San Diego. What can you do with all this extra time you've got on your hands? Because everything's slow right now. Even if it's not slow, do these things. Trust me. So the biggest thing you need to do before Q4 hits, and I say need, not should, not want. The biggest thing you need to do before Q4 hits is get yourself organized. If this Q4 is a normal Q4, you will sell a lot more than you're used to selling. You're going to feel overwhelmed. You're going to feel very busy. You're going to be spending a bunch of time. I love that word. A bunch of time on packaging and shipping and pulling inventory and all of these things. And you're going to feel really crunched for time. Typically in Q4, we always feel like we don't have enough time. You are going to sell more. If you're a hobby seller and you sell 2 items a day right now, you're going to sell 4 or 8 a day in Q4, just how it is. If you're a volume power seller like us, you're going to sell 20, 40, 30 a day. Robert probably will sell 1,000 a day. No, I'm kidding. But everyone's going to sell a whole bunch more. And you're going to feel really crunched for time. You're going to feel stressed out. If it's not your first Q4, you've probably figured out how to weather it a little bit by now. But if this is going to be your first Q4, you're going to be selling more than you've ever sold before, and it's going to feel a little bit overwhelming. So if you get organized now before it hits, you're going to be ahead of the game. You're going to be able to keep your calm a little bit better. You're going to be able to quell the anxiety before the anxiety happens. You're going to be able to run through things smoothly and keep a rhythm or a system going that isn't going to make you want to tear your hair out and sit down and cry. I have to tell you, our first Q4 ever, things got so busy and we started to sell so much and there was just so much shipping going on and I didn't know what to expect. And this was way back when, I'm talking way back when, we didn't really have an inventory system yet, like with the numbers in the bins. We just kind of had bins A through Z and clothes were in A and clothes were in B and you had to dig through all the clothes. Nothing was organized, numbered, or packaged. Our plush was all over the room. And there were days in our first Q4 where I literally sat down on the floor and cried because it was too much, because I couldn't find 5 shirts and 6 plushies and 3 pairs of shoes because we did not have a good inventory system. We were selling so much. And it became very overwhelming. And then what ends up happening is you're spending so much time on all of these things, searching for your inventory and searching for your shipping supplies, and you're getting overwhelmed and you're spending so much time on that you actually will start listing less, and then you start selling less, and then you feel like a failure because your Q4 wasn't that great. It's a terrible cycle to be in. So you want to go into Q4 completely ready for anything, completely organized, completely ready to go, and ready by organizing your inventory. If you do not have an inventory system in place yet, now is the time to do it. Get it done before October. A very organized, very neat inventory system. I have a video in my Back to Basics playlist on how we organize our inventory and our system. It's very similar to Megan Winnie's, and it works. It's held up through a lot, and it will work for you. Or come up with your own. Everyone has to kind of like have their own organization and their own organized chaos and all of that. You have to have a system that's going to work for you. But you need to get a system in place, because when Q4 hits and you're selling more, you literally just want to go to where you keep your inventory and go, I need number 1 out of this bin, number 10, and number 12. And number 16. You just want to go to where the things are and you want to pull them out, and you want to open the bin and be able to see your number system and just pull stuff out very quickly. You don't want to spend any time digging, searching, stressing, wondering where crap is. So get an inventory system in place now. You will thank yourself in Q4 because you'll be able to just walk into a room and pull stuff. You also want to get your shipping supplies organized. I cannot stress this enough. If you run out of shipping supplies in the midst of Q4, you are probably up shit creek without an oar, as my mother used to say, because even the free postal supplies take double, triple, quadruple the time to get to you than normal. So like if you use a lot of padded flat envelopes, they normally take like 2 days when you order them. They're going to take weeks, and all the places you order the bags from and all the places you order the boxes from, they're going to be on backlog. Is that the word I want? They're going to be backlogged on orders. But additionally, the USPS gets a lot busier during the holidays, and they have tons more mail going through the system. UPS, FedEx, all of them, they have way more mail to deal with, and everywhere you're trying to order from is backlogged. So if you run out of supplies or get low in the middle of Q4, oh my gosh, bless your heart, because I don't know what you're going to do. Well, here's what you're going to do. Right now, during Q3 and summer slowdown, you're going to go organize all of your shipping supplies. You're going to figure out, if you need to do it on a piece of paper, please get a piece of paper and a pen and figure out, these are the ones I use the most. And here they are. Get a shelf, put them all, we like have this shelf that has like tape and tissue paper, and then our most used boxes and our poly bags. And at any time, I can literally go and look at one size box or one size of a poly bag and see my stack where it's at, and I know when I need to order more. So you need to get that organized as well, But here's the thing, order more too. So while you're getting organized ahead of time, getting ready for Q4, get all your shipping supplies in nice little neat rows on a shelf somewhere, whatever kind of space you're working with. But make sure you have all the likes together, like all the same kind of boxes, envelopes, polys, and all that. And then look at them and think to yourself what you should order. You want to have about double the amount you normally keep on hand to go into Q4 for your most popular. If you only ever use a shoebox twice a month, you probably don't need to stock up on shoe boxes. But let's say you use those large mailing boxes I really like for like the big Plush. I go through like a pack a week, right? So I'm going to want to order a really bunch of them so that I have 2 packs a week for every week in Q4 because I'm thinking I want double. The most common size poly bags that we use are these 9x12s. So we always order extra of these going into Q4. I always get tons of extra padded flats. I order more tape and more tissue paper. Excuse me, my throat's like really dry right now. So that's what you want to do is get your inventory completely organized, get an inventory system in place if you don't have one, and then go up and not only organize all your shipping supplies, take stock of what you need and order it now. Order it now or order it in August, but please do not wait till Q4. You will not be able to get it. And then the third thing is you need to set up a shipping station, a place where you always do shipping. I know not everyone has an eBay room or a specific corner of their eBay room for shipping. A lot of you are working with a different situation than anyone else. But if you can set something up, even if you can get like a $10 cart from Walmart, they have like $10 carts at Walmart on wheels. If you can get that and make a row for your tape and your polys and your scissors and your thank you cards, whatever you use, if you're reusing your tags in your inventory system, a place to keep those, like a little box. You can use a Tupperware bowl. You guys can legit go find a Tupperware bowl out of your cupboards that lost its lid and just use that. But if you are in a situation where you can't set up like an actual table or an area for your shipping, get a little $10 rolly cart and get all your shipping supplies set up there. Not all of them. Like you need to have your organized shipping supplies somewhere else, probably wherever you keep your inventory, all the extras. But then you can have a cart. We have underneath this table here that I'm always sitting at, underneath it, we have our most common use supplies, tissue paper, the poly bags, the padded flats, and then we have our little rolly cart. Some of you have seen, and it's got tape, it's got our containers for our tags, it's got our thank you cards. So just get something like that. So when you sit down to ship, you have everything all together. Let me catch up on the comments. I see a whole ton of them. I'm going to overuse my favorite word now. What is normal in 2020? I don't think there is a normal. This is definitely a very unprecedented year. So yeah, there will be stores closed on Thanksgiving. I don't even know if are they going to do Black Friday this year? Like, how can you do Black Friday if you can only let 20 people in the store at a time? I don't know. Trying to move and be organized. Yeah, that's tough, especially when you're moving in an emergency. Robert says his first 150 item weekend took him 10 hours to pull. Yep. I mean, when we first started, we didn't have a good system at all. And that first Q4 hit, and I just was in tears all the time. I was so stressed out. And we got through Q4, but then I took the entire month of January that next year, and I didn't list for an entire 31 days. 31 days of January, I spent 8 hours, a work day organizing. making tags, putting stuff in bins that had numbers, organizing the plush. I also double checked everything that it was still listed. We're going to talk about that next. But I took a month to double check everything and get everything. I mean, we had literal bags of stuff that had fallen out of bins and we didn't know what bin it went back into. It was a mess. So yeah, like we had just bags of clothes that had no location. Don't do that to yourself. And then you spend a whole month not listing, you're not making money. So I know that we all do really, really, I don't want to use the word dumb, noob. We all do really noob stuff when we're new, really, really newbie moves. But if you can learn from my mistakes and you don't have to make them, by all means, please learn from my mistakes and don't do what we did. It was awful. The post office has been having shortage issues on supplies. I've heard that too, but I know that during Q4, it's really hard to get anything. Yeah, order your padded flats if you need them. I've ordered a bunch because I'm expecting to sell a bunch of jeans in Q4. Aldi has some great carts. Scissors have feet. I have 1 million pairs. So we only have one pair and they're right here. So when I tell you to get organized and have a system, there you go. We don't lose our measuring tape. We don't lose our scissors. We don't lose anything because it all goes on this cart. And I have, we've had this cart set up for about 3 years maybe. Everything on the cart has a place and there's a place for everything. So it all stays in the same exact place. It goes back where we took it from as soon as we're done using it. And it gets replenished. Like I have a shelf with 2, 4, 6 rolls of eBay tape right now. And then our tape gun in front of it. And when that tape in the back goes down to like 2 rolls, I'll refresh it from upstairs where we keep our other supplies. I don't lose my tape measure. I don't lose my scissors because I'm organized. I've been on a roll, increased my listings by 150. That's good. Yola, that's awesome. So hurting your back will probably slow you down. That's coming from someone with a back injury and a disability, but it doesn't have to stop you. It can slow you down, but it doesn't have to stop you. Okay, so let's say you get your inventory organized, you get your supplies organized and ordered now, and you get a little cart and you get organized like me and you're not losing stuff anymore. Now's the time also to check your inventory. So if it's a little bit slow during summer slowdown for you, you can do an inventory check. I recommend y'all do them anyways, at least twice a year, once every 6 months. And by that, I literally mean going through every single item, not on the computer or on your phone, like physically. Go take a bin or wherever you keep your inventory. Take each item out of the bin and search for it on the seller hub in the back end on your active listings. Make sure it's still listed. Because for whatever reason, stuff always falls off eBay. No one knows why. No one knows how. It happens. It happens to everyone. It happens to all of us. It happens if you have 50 active listings. It happens if you have 4,000 active listings. It just happens. It's just one of those glitches that we have to deal with if we want to sell on eBay. So you should be doing that twice a year. Do you have to take 31 days off from listing and do it? No. What I usually do is 1 or 2 bins a day. So however much extra time I have at the end of the evening, when I'm all done with everything else that I have to do for my work and for my household chores or whatever, I'll sit down with a TV show and a bin and I'll go through it. And anything I find that has fallen off, I just put in a pile, and I know that I have to photograph it and list it as if it was new inventory I just brought home. Because if it falls off, it's gone. There's no listing to go sell somewhere from. You have to start over from scratch like it's a new item, and it really sucks. But if you do this often enough, you're not going to find that much stuff. I had gone a year before the last time I did it recently, and I found hundreds of items that had fallen off. But yeah, I just like, once or twice a year, I just pick a month and I'm like, okay, on the first of this month, I'm going to start. And I go through 1 or 2 a day, sometimes none if my day's been really busy, and sometimes 4 if I have extra time on a weekend. And I literally sit where I'm comfortable, whether it's in my recliner, on the couch, and I just watch TV and I just double check. And then I can get all that stuff relisted. But here's the one thing I do recommend, especially if you're newer and you still have some of your mistakes around. I still have some of my mistakes around. Let me make this very clear. If you're new and you have poop in your store, that's okay because you're new and you're learning. We all sourced poop in the beginning. We all learned by making mistakes. We all had bad inventory. Megan still has crap in her store. I still have crap in my store. But one of the ways you can start to sift through the poop, if you find a shirt has fallen off of eBay and it's a brand that you know better than to source, just redonate it and take the write-off now. If this was something you sourced way back when, you're going through your inventory, it fell off, and you're like, I know better now. This is not something I should be sourcing. Get it out the door. Get rid of it. You shouldn't spend this time to photograph it and relist it a second time if you know better. It's okay to make mistakes, but once you've learned, it's not okay to repeat them. Robert hasn't done inventory in a couple of years. Listen, as soon as everything is chill and over with, I might want to take a vacation, at least out to Vegas, if not California. So we'll talk. Yes, absolutely. So all things Lorenzo is correct. If you find it fell off eBay and you had it, you could check it. And if it was on Poshmark or Mercari, you can cross post it back. You can use List Perfectly or do it manually. But if it's something that hadn't been cross-posted, you're going to have to redo it. I have over 100 bins of Plush. Yeah, there's a lot of Plush. You can't have it without paying my price. Yeah, it is very disappointing. But you can get rid of your poop as you go. You know what I mean? And that's another thing you should be doing on the back end of things as we're getting into the summer slowdown. You can be going in and just kind of double checking your listings. What you should be doing technically is ending and selling similar your listings every morning. I've made videos about that. But I go in every single morning, first thing. This is how I wake up my eBay store. This is how I knock on Cassini's door and say, good morning, Cassini. It's time to wake up. Let's get moving. Cassini's the name of the algorithm for eBay if you don't know. But I wake her up. I knock on her door, and I get the algorithm working, and I get activity in my store. And by first thing in the morning, for me, I mean like 9 or 10, but everyone's schedule is different. Isn't that the beautiful part of working from home? If you're a morning person, you can get up at 6 in the morning and do this. If you like to work until like midnight or 1 and then read for a while or watch TV and go to bed at like 2 or 3 like I do, you can do that, whatever. But whatever your first thing is, first in the morning, or if you have another job outside of the home, the first thing you do when you sit down to do eBay. You should be looking in your listings, and anything that's going to roll over within the next 24 hours, you can sort your listings on the Seller Hub in the back end, and you can see what's ending soonest. It turns red. Anything within the next 24 hours, end it. You can check them all and bulk them. You can check all 20 and say end, and then all 20 show up in your unsolds, and then you can bulk list them, sell similar. You want to do sell similar because when you sell similar, it creates a brand new listing. So it acts as a way. It looks like you just listed 20 brand new items to the algorithm or to Cassini. She thinks that you just sat down and listed 20 new items. It counts as activity for your store, and it helps boost you in the searches. If you just do relist, it's that same listing being relisted. It's not a new listing. It does nothing for the algorithm or Cassini. It does not give you a boost in the searches. There is an asterisk. If you have items with multiple quantities, you probably want to leave them alone. You probably shouldn't be ending and relisting them. Just let them go till cancel. themselves. Anything like that with multiple quantities. If you have 12 of this one wrench and that's a popular wrench and you're replenishing it, you want to keep your watchers and your history and your sales on it. But your one-off items is what I'm talking about. You want to end them and sell similar. So when you're doing that, you can get rid of poop too, right? So you can end, say you end 20 items and you notice one is like, oh, I never should have sourced that. I know better now. That's not something I should be trying to sell. Just don't put it back in your store. Make a note of it somewhere where it's at in your inventory. Pull it. Make a note for yourself and your bookkeeping and your accounting so you can have it as a write-off. Redonate it. So anything you redonate, anything you pull from your store, you can count for a write-off on your taxes. And additionally, if you get stuff home and you find, it happens to the best of us, but let's say you get something home and you find a rip or a tear or a stain in it and you can't sell it and you're going to throw it away or redonate it. Keep track of those somewhere too, because those are also write-offs. If you spent $1 on something and you can't sell it and you had to throw it away, it's called a defect. If you redonate it, it's a donation, but you can write that $1 off. So keep track. Excuse me. So you should be keeping your eyes out for that poop when you're going through your inventory and when you're doing your end and sell similar every day. And the reason I wanted to mention that, I'm not going to get too much into it because this is a video unto itself. It's very complicated for me to explain. Not complicated, but it's you need to go in depth. But just very simply, when folks come to your store and then leave, that affects the algorithm. There's like a click-through rate, and when folks are looking at your stuff and leaving without clicking through or without buying anything, Cassini starts to see your store and your items as undesirable. So it will push you down in the algorithm or the searches. If you have a lot of people coming in and leaving without ever clicking anything or buying anything, Cassini thinks, well, they're looking and they're not buying, so nothing here is desirable. So I'm going to take all of the sellers' items and push them down in the searches because nobody wants this stuff. So if you start pulling one by one, just a little bit at a time, all those poop brands out, all of those things that are dragging you down, the things that you never should have listed or sourced as you learn and get better, when you start to pull those out, you're going to have more folks coming in and clicking on your stuff and looking at your stuff because you're going to have better stuff. And more folks are going to come in and look at stuff and buy stuff. Then Cassini says, people are coming in here and clicking and looking, and some of them are buying. This seller's stuff is desirable. They have things people want. They take all your stuff and push it up, or she's a she, I think, Cassini. She'll push all your stuff up because now you look desirable. So you want to drop the crap off, the poop, the crap items. You want to drop them off as much as you can when you keep your eyes peeled for them when you're doing inventory or your listings, because the more of that kind of stuff you have that people are going to walk away from, the less desirable your store looks or your items look. When people come in your store and look at stuff, click it and buy it, you're going to get a push in the searches because Cassini thinks people like your stuff. Let's catch up on the chat. Dixie Girl just bought new shelves, new bins, going through all the inventory and updating my inventory list. Yep, that's exactly what you should be doing, getting ready for Q4. Robert says, I don't go to bed till 6 a.m. Hi, Colleen. Good to see you. He can't lift Plush because I have a new puppy. Probably thinks all the Plush are for him, right? Thrifty Loohoo. I just started listing on eBay. I listed 5 items, and when I tried to list a 6th, it said I hit my limit. So when you're new, sometimes they'll cut you off like that until you sell something. But just keep plugging along and they'll lift it eventually. They'll give you more. Yep, everyone else has already told you that. You have limits if you're new. Your selling limit is different than your number of free listings. Every 30 days, you can get an increase. As you sell, you can get an increase too. Ours was faster than 30 days when we started because we were selling stuff. you can always call and ask as well. Like once you sell a couple of items and wait till they're shipped. So wait till the tracking shows shipped and your buyer received them. You can always call and ask, can I list more? Ask for an increase. It doesn't hurt. Colleen says, hi again. I think July is slower, to be honest, for us, but it's going to be different depending on what you sell. That's going to be different for everybody. Somebody who sells strictly electronics is going to tell you there's no such thing as summer slowdown. Just that they don't think it exists, but it does. It's a real thing. We have a lot of plush, and I feel like in years past, for whatever reason, August has always been a really big month for plush. We sell a ton of plush in August, like a lot. It may be different this year because I had theories that the reason we sold so many plush in August was one, teachers may have been buying them in bulk or whatever, buying them to give out for prizes to their students. And I thought that maybe like nursing homes and summer camps and schools might all be having those like carnivals, and they might have been buying plush to give out as prizes for those things, like because carnivals happen in August, September. Those are my theories because we always sell so much plush in August. So it might be different this year because I don't think we're going to be having carnivals, and schools are all still up in the air. So it just depends on what you're selling. So, okay, shipping, I already talked about that. Oh, another thing you can be doing when you have a little bit of time on your hands during summer slowdown is to be researching and learning new items. Because you should be getting out of your comfort zones and you should be selling things outside of your niche. Einstein said it best when he said, the definition of insanity is to keep doing the same things over and over and expecting different results. So if you want to scale up or sell more, you're going to have to diversify. You need to learn plush if you only do clothes. If you only do plush, you should probably learn electronics, etc., etc. So don't do stuff that you hate. Absolutely never get into stuff that you absolutely cannot stand doing. 2 reasons. 1, if you actually do the things that you don't like doing, you're going to be miserable. You're going to hate your job. You're going to hate reselling, and that defeats the purpose of being a small business owner and being your own boss. The reason we're all our own bosses is so that we're happy and doing things that make us happy and living our best lives. So if it makes you miserable, don't do it. Don't. Or you're just going to avoid it. You're going to have piles of the I don't wannas built up all over your house because you're going to say, well, I'm going to learn jeans, but God, I hate them. And then you're going to have a million jeans all piled up around your house that you're ignoring, that you're avoiding in the piles. I call the I don't wannas. And then you basically just have money thrown around your floor that you're stepping on because you paid for that stuff and now you're not listing it. So if it doesn't make you happy, don't do it. But you should also diversify. So find something that you think interests you, that's not going to make you miserable, that's different from what you normally do, whether it's a different kind of item, a different category, or just a different platform. Start cross-posting. Get List Perfectly and cross-post all the platforms. Do it manually if you can't afford List Perfectly. I really recommend List Perfectly, though. And if you don't have it, there's a code in the description box down below you can use to sign up to get 30% off your first month. And then I get a little bit of a kickback too. But it gives you a way to try it for your first month, 30% off, and then you can cancel if you don't like it. I like it. I did a video a couple weeks ago. 2 weeks ago on that live show, I had the marketing manager on, Alex from List Perfectly, and we did a demo and we showed you guys how amazing it is. I recommend it. If you haven't seen that video, watch it and then try it for like 30% off. If you don't like it, you can go back to doing it manually. But I went off on a tangent. Just use this time to research other types of items, other categories, other platforms. Just look at different things that you can be doing to make more money. Toys do really well in Q4. I'm going to tell you that right now. Toys do really well. Collectibles do really well. I sell so many coffee mugs that will just sit around all year. Nothing happens. They all sell in Q4 because people are looking for specialized, unique gifts for people they love. So Q4 is going to be the time when your coffee mugs, your collectibles, your little pop figure guys, your little figurines, anything that's about something that anybody might like or collect in a collection is going to be what folks are online looking for to buy for their people, for their presents, for the holidays. So anything like that, if you don't know it, start learning it because that is what's going to sell in Q4. Yes, I did get into shoes. They are disgusting. They give me the skeevies, but they don't make me miserable because they are money. And I have discovered that I like money more than shoes disgust me. They're still gross. They still skeeve me out. But once they're listed and once they're Lysoled and then listed and then they sell, I'm like, woo! I just put a pair of Doc Martens in for $70 the other day. I like shoes now because I like money more than my OCD lets me be grossed out. But if they still made me miserable, if they really bothered me, I wouldn't do them. I'll tell you that right now. Butterfly Nurse, thank you so much. That's so sweet. And I just put up the wrong comment because I can't read. Oh, well. Let's see. I used to do clothing. It wasn't fun. A lot of folks don't like clothing. A lot of people don't. Plush is awful. No one should do Plush with me and Robert. We're the only two that should be that miserable with Plush. So the algorithm improves both when they buy and when they click. But if too many people click and don't buy, then that affects you adversely. I like hard goods. I mean, I would never really give anything up completely. Would I like to sell less clothes and more electronics and remotes? Yeah. But would I ever stop looking in the clothes at the thrift stores? No, because there's always something in there that's a treasure. Shoes used to freak me out so bad. I just mentioned this in my What Sold video last night. And then I challenged everyone on this challenge video to go out and source something new. And so I did it. And then I found out they were money. So Keith won't touch them. All right. So learn something new. Diversify and get yourself out on extra platforms now. Do it now before Q4. Don't wait till Q4. Start cross-posting now. Get those platforms because you want to have as many items as you can on as many platforms as you can when Q4 hits. Stock up your money or death piles, whatever you want to call them. Everybody calls them something different. I still call them death piles. Stock those up. Get them real big so that you can list more. You should be doubly listing now if you can. I'm going to say you should be and everybody should be, but I know it's not feasible for everyone. So increase as much as you can. But while we're slower right now, you should be listing more. So if you normally list 5 a day, try to list 10. If you list 10, try to list 20. If that's not feasible, try for 12 or 15. But list more right now through the end of Q3 than you normally do so that you have that many more listings going into Q4 and that many more things selling for you. And then you want to build up that death pile also so you can list extra now, build up your listings, build up all your platforms. But also when you start selling more in Q4, if you want to keep the amount of listings you have up, you're going to have to list more to keep your listings up. Make sense? Sell more, list more, sell more, list more. Hey, Jamie, welcome in. Yeah, Shelly is really, really, really big on Pinterest, and she does a Pinterest group activity. Group activity sounds so formal. She does a group sharing post for those of you that like Pinterest every single Tuesday in the Facebook group, Flippin' Hippos Reseller Pod that I talked about at the beginning. So if you're in the group, you can participate in those every single Tuesday. Shelly runs one, and when I see her post it, I try to grab it and put it in the announcements so that everybody can find it. I would also add that you can set, get this, it's amazing, you can sync your Pinterest to your Poshmark so that every time you list a new item on Poshmark, Poshmark automatically puts it on Pinterest for you without any further action from you. You literally just have to have the Pinterest, create it, sync it, link it to Poshmark. I should do a video on that. I might have already. I don't know if I did or not. And then every time you list a new item on Poshmark, even if you're cross-posting with List Perfectly and moving 20 at a time, all 20 of those items, Poshmark will automatically put on Pinterest for you. And Pinterest shows up on Google searches. So if somebody's on Google looking for something, they might run across the Pinterest pin of your item, which will take them back to Poshmark, and they might buy your item. So Shelly's right. Poshmark or Pinterest is really good to get involved in. Fourth quarter is a huge amount. Yeah, that's the biggest time of the year for most of us. It'll start. So Johanna says, when does it start getting busy again? If you would have asked me that last year, I would have told you it's like a flip of a switch on October 1st, the very first day of Q4. Years past, it was literally like on October 1st, somebody flipped the switch on and just people were begging you to take their money, throwing it at you, opening their purses and their wallets and just dumping money at you. Then we had the whole debacle last year with the item specifics, and it was weird and it wasn't that great. And who knows what 2020 is going to do. But sometime in Q4, it'll pick up. I don't know that it's going to be like an automatic switch this year or not. I'm doing roughly, yeah, we'll all make more money in Q4. It doesn't matter what you sell. So I made a Pinterest for the Hippo Hut because we're branded across all of our social media. Anywhere we do anything for our business, it's either Flippin' Hippos or the Hippo Hut because we're branded. So I made a business one. I haven't really done much more with it than link it to Poshmark because then that automatically happens for me. Donna says if I get any more boxes of inventory, I'll be on the porch. Yeah, you get analytics if you do it for business too. Yeah, if you have any more questions on Pinterest, you can come into the group and then participate on Tuesdays and ask your questions and learn it that way. Okay, so I guess the only other thing I wanted to tell you that you should be doing right now is starting any new streams of income. We all have a little bit of extra time on our hands when things are slow. So if you've always thought about starting a YouTube channel or a Pinterest board or getting started on Instagram or starting to do affiliate links or creating your own Facebook group or any of that stuff, now's the time to do it because you'll have time to spend on it to build it up all through August and September. And then October 1st, come Q4, you'll have 2 months under your belt of followers on Pinterest or Instagram and posts and hashtags and new friends and new connections in the reselling community. If it's been a YouTube channel that you've always wanted to start, you'll be that much closer, or maybe already have 1,000 subscribers and be monetized. But once Q4 hits, it's really hard to start anything new because things get really hectic, not just with the business, life in general. You know, I don't know how this is going to be this year because this is the year of the poop. You know how they have those Chinese horoscopes, the year of the rat, the year of the horse? I officially dubbed 2020 the year of the poop, period. But typically in normal years, during the holidays, you've got shopping to do. You've got extra meals to cook or, to participate in with your family members on the holidays. People cook, people do potlucks. Some of us have to go to like 4 houses with different family members. And then you got extra things selling in your business. It's just a really busy, hectic time of year. And it's really hard to keep up with just what you need to do in Q4, let alone start something new, right? So just keeping up with your listings to replace what's selling and your shipping sometimes is a lot. So if there's anything new, you want to learn, diversify, any new platforms, you should be on social media, any of that. Start it now, and then you have 2 months to get used to it. And, you can build it into your routine so you don't lose it when you get too busy. If you have a set routine, and I've told you guys this a million times, you need to be making to-do lists, you need a bullet journal, you need routines. If you twice a day go on Pinterest for 10 minutes on a timer and interact with people every day for 2 months, until Q4 hits, it's going to be ingrained. It's going to be a part of your day. You're still going to find time for it. Year of the toilet paper. No, it's the year of the utter and complete poop. Poop, poop, poop. Poop. Robert's a PETA, you guys. All right, that's all I had for you. I'm going to let you guys go. If you have any questions that you missed, you forgot, you think of later, you can always come back and comment on this video. But the best way to get a hold of me is the Facebook group. If you tag me in there, I'm really quick to respond. I check in the group a couple times a day. I'm notified if I'm tagged. And so I try to get in there right away as soon as possible to get to the questions. The YouTube comments, I'm usually about a week behind on. I'm really bad with them. Emails, first come, first serve, and like 100 come in a day. So you could be waiting. You know what I mean? Like I try to answer them as they come in. And so you could be waiting for a while. And then the messages on Facebook, I never get notified. I find messages from people from 2 months ago that I never knew were there. So Facebook group's the best way. But don't be, you can comment, you can email me, it's fine. Just remember, if you do email me, I answer the emails in the order that they come in. And I only have about 10 or 15 minutes a day to spare for email. So, you just have to kind of patiently wait your turn. And don't send a second email, because that'll put you back at the bottom. Because if you sent me an email 2 days ago and you're getting a little impatient and you send another one, it takes your original one and the second one and puts it back down at the bottom. So just hang tight. I do get around to all the emails. It just takes me a minute. But if you want me quick and you want me fast, Facebook group all day long. I'm notified if I'm tagged, and I'm checking on it all the time. I guess that's it. I'm totally rambling now. Thank you guys so much for all the thumbs up. If you haven't hit the thumbs up, please do before you leave. It really helps the channel. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Help us feed all our hungry hippos. David and Bill, please help a hungry hippo by hitting the like button. We got to feed all these hippos back here, guys. So please hit the thumbs up, subscribe. Don't forget to hit the bell so you're notified when I put out new content. Please go join the Facebook group if you're not a member already. And as always, guys, thank you so much for watching. Go be productive. Go make some money. Go implement these things I've shared with you. Keith and I do these every single year except for the first year. And we were a hot mess. So don't do that. Do these things now so you can be successful in Q4 and you can make a lot of profits and keep your sanity, right? All right. I'll see you guys next time. Thank you. Y'all are the best. Bye.